In this video, we're going to go over how you can use visual builders to improve the build and speed of building of your website. Oftentimes, WordPress's editor can be a little bit restrictive in terms of how easy it is to build your website. So you may want to install something called a visual builder or site builder to help you do this quickly and efficiently. One we're going to look at today is called Elementor. However, you can look at any other visual builder you want to, and I would encourage you to look around using searching WordPress visual builder or WordPress site builder to try and find the best fit for you. These are almost always plugins. So we're going to go on plugins and add new, and we're going to search the one which I mentioned. So we're going to search at the top right here, Elementor. And here we see it. It's often recommended to look at the ratings of anything you're going to be installing in terms of plugins and the amount of installations it currently has. If you have a good rating, it's normally going to be worth your time to look at it. So we're just going to click install now. We don't need more details because we've seen the builder before. And once we've done that, we can activate it from here. So we're going to click this. It's going to take us to our plugins page. Here you can see it's already highlighted in blue, which means it's active. So now we can see this in action by clicking on pages. Now I've already made a front page using Elementor. I've created it, but I haven't added anything to it. So we're just going to click over here on Edit with Elementor. And you can do this with any page you've created on your website. So this is the Elementor visual builder page, the interface for it, sorry. And this is going to be very similar depending on what visual builder you have, but they normally have a similar setup. Over here you have all the widgets you can add to your website, and you have a live preview of the page which you're editing. Now I'm going to quickly remove this because I've already made it. Now you've got the basic settings up here, so you've got your headings, your text editors, your images, etc. And then you've got some of the less standard options which you can add, so things like lists of icons, a tab section, accordions, etc. We're just going to quickly show you how you can create some content on your website. So we're going to click on this and we can select structure. So there are a number of different layouts for content you can choose. I'm just going to choose the single column that's the page width. So once we've got this, some layout settings appear here, which we're not going to go into necessarily. We're going to click over here back to the widgets page. Now it's as easy as selecting something like a heading, clicking and dragging it over into the box. Let go of the mouse, and it's added your heading. So over here we can change the heading to heading 1 or whatever we want to change it to. You can change it, you can add a link to it if you wish. You can change the size and the HTML tags. That normally changes the way it looks on the page. And you can change the alignment settings. Over here you have style, so here you can change the color of the text, so you can make it a dark grey color in relation to the rest of the page. You can change things like the font, the size, and the sort of style and other settings here. And you can add shadow to it and a lot more. The advanced settings, you can change things like the margin and the padding. The difference between margin and padding is that margin adds spaces outside of the entire widgets, outside of the content area, whereas padding adds space inside the content area but within the border. So it makes things appear smaller within its own section, whereas margin moves the section itself. And you can add things like backgrounds. We're actually just going to quickly remove that text shadow. Just back to default there. So once you're happy, and you can add some more sections here, let's add a double column section here. Let's drag some text over here. And we're happy with that. And an image onto this side. So it's as easy as that. You can choose your own image here. You can select one from your media database on your website, or you can upload one yourself right here, then and there. And it's essentially as easy as that. Once you've made all the changes you're happy with, you can select publish, and that'll change it from a draft onto a published site page. Once you've done this, you can carry on changing and editing. So we can say this must be hello. Oops, I've just accidentally searched something here. So what you can do, select this text and say hello world. And you see once we've made a change, we can select the update option in the bottom left here, and that'll update the page. And also you can remove the sidebar temporarily and have a look how it looks on the page. Obviously this is very, very simple and it doesn't look great right now, but that's because this is more of a demonstration. you can experiment a lot more with both Elementor and other visual builders, and it'll really help you in terms of the speed you could build your website with. You can even do things like add spaces in here, so it's simply just extra white space you can add to your page, and that gives you a bit more flexibility in terms of where things sit. But you can also do a similar thing, for example, by adding a margin underneath heading, and that will accomplish essentially the same thing. So that's a quick rundown of Elementor, and hopefully that gives you a greater insight into how visual builders in general work and the power of them in terms of building your website with a much higher customizability than with the standard WordPress customizer.